Chess punks, welcome back to another video. So today's video is a very special video because I am starting a new concept called as a weekly chess review for you guys, wherein I will provide all the information that has happened in the last week regarding in the chess world, and will make you updated with all the things that are going on in our chess world. I have seen that majority of the chess update that you get are in written form with excellent work done by ChessBase India, Chess24 and Chess.com sites, but there is very little info that is available in the video format. Only I have seen GM Srinath Narayanan do this, but I hope to do it more consistently. So let's get started with our today's episode. So this is my first episode of the weekly check-in. So our first update is, as you all know, the WR Masters was going on a very strong chess tournament with an average rating of 2730 that just has concluded with Levon Aronian emerging as the first ever winner of the WR Chess Masters. Now Levon Aronian played some phenomenal chess at this event, and he was actually able to beat the likes of Nodirbek Abdusataro. He's a world rapid champion. Then he beat Anish Giri. Then he beat Pragnananda and was absolutely cruising towards victory in the tournament. But Gukesh fought back very hard. He actually managed to beat Esipenko as well as Pragnananda, his countrymate. And he was also doing very well. And both of them, Gukesh and Levon Aronian, were actually sharing the lead going into the final day. Both of them were on 5 points, and Nepo was trailing them with a half a point with 4.5 points. So on the last day, Nepo needed a win to make into the playoffs for the title, and he needed Gukesh and Levon Aronian to draw their game because both of them were playing against each other. So if they draw the game, then Nepo had a chance at the championship. So that exactly what happened on the last day. Nepo won his game against Esipenko, and then not Esipenko actually, he won his game against Vincent Keimer. So that was a phenomenal game by him, and he was assisted by Gukesh and Aronian, who also draw their game. So at the end of the 9 rounds, there we had 3 players who were tied on 5.5 points. Now, if you had seen my video on the regulations, you must have known that if more than 2 players are tied for the first place, then there was going to be a round robin tournament, and that's exactly what happened. We had a round robin tournament, double round robin actually, of 10+2 time control between Nepomniachtchi, Gukesh and Levon Aronian. So 3 of the players playing against each other. In the first game, we got Aronian versus Gukesh as the first round game, and in the first round itself, Aronian managed to strike by beating Gukesh in a Queen's Gambit declined. Aronian won a spectacular game after winning a pawn. He was able to convert the position very swiftly. Then in the game 2 again against Nepomniachtchi, Aronian was able to swiftly convert creative play that he showcased in that game. He got his king out from the attack, then he did all sorts of maneuvers and was able to break through at the correct time, and he was able to defeat Nepo in the second game as well. So it was 2-0 for Levon Aronian. He was able to get wins in both the games. Then in the game 3, it was Gukesh versus Nepo. Both the players had to win if they wanted to be in contention, but Gukesh was able to get better of the world championship contender Nepomniachtchi. It was another Queen's Gambit declined where Nepo blundered into a mating net under time pressure, because before that everything was going quite well, but when you are on seconds, Nepo just did not see Gukesh's mating net and had to actually give up under time pressure. And then in the game 4, now Aronian was on 2 points, Gukesh was on 1 point. So if Aronian manages to win this game, he has won the tournament and we don't have to go for another 2 games. And that's actually what Aronian did in that game. He was able to beat Gukesh with the black paces, with the Berlin defense. So Gukesh went for the Rai Lopez, and Aronian, since he does not have to take much risk, he went for the Berlin defense, and Gukesh tried too much in that game to win because he had to win, and Aronian later on went on to win an exchange and then went on to win the game as well as the tournament. So that was the WR Masters update. Levon Aronian outright wins the playoffs with a huge score of 3 out of 3. Nobody was able to stop him in that playoff, and he emerged as the victorious of the first ever WR Chess Masters. So that's that for you. Moving on to our next update, that is the Pro Chess League. Now, all of you guys must be knowing that the Pro Chess League right now is going on. It's a team event where 4 players play against each other. 4 players play from the 4 players from other team. And there are 4 rounds, and whoever gets to 8.5 points first wins the match. First day we had this interesting matchup between Canadian chess brass and Indian yogis. So this was a very interesting match to follow because Magnus-Carlsen himself was playing in this match, and everyone had their eyes on this matchup of Magnus-Carlsen versus Vidit Gujarati. So in that matchup of Canadian chess brass and Indian yogis were actually able to triumph over Canadian chess brass with a score of 9.5 to 6.5. Now, although that score looks one-sided, it was not at all one-sided, because at a point the yogis were actually down on 5.5 to 2.5 after first 2 rounds. In the first round they lost 3-1. In the second round they lost 2.5 to 1.5. But in the third game they were actually able to stage a comeback with a score of 3-1 thanks to Raunak Sadhwani's victory. And in the fourth round they absolutely crushed the Canadian chess brass with a score of 4-0, thus taking the match with 9.5 to 6.5. The main highlight of the fourth round was actually Vidit's win over Magnus-Carlsen. This was Vidit's first win over Magnus-Carlsen in a tournament play. So it was actually, Vidit was completely delighted after his victory over Magnus-Carlsen. So now Indian yogis have won both their matches. They won last week and now they have won also this week. So they will be at the top of the leaderboard. And on the first day, the second match was between Brazil Capybaras and Charlotte Cobras. Now this match was completely one-sided because there was a lot of rating disparities between the players, and the final score line at the end was 8.5 to 3.5. The top performer for Brass was Artemiev. He scored 3 out of 3, and the game just ended in the third round itself because Brass were able to get to 8.5 points in the third round itself. Artemiev also received support from Jose Martinez. As you can see, Artemiev got 3 points, Jose Martinez got 3 points, and thanks to their brilliant performance, they were able to outclass the Charlotte Cobras. Moving on the second day, we had the first game between Norway Genomes and Levito Chess Wizards. Now, Norway Genomes were actually had to succumb to their loss to Levito Chess Wizard with a score line of 10.5 to 5.5. The Alexis Sarana was absolutely unbeatable with a score of 3.5 to 3.5 out of 4. And another highlight of this match was actually Alexandra Kostyanyuk's win over Salem Saleh in just 29 moves. She just sacrificed a bishop in the style of the Greek gift and was able to triumph over a very strong grandmaster in Salem Saleh. So that was the first game of the day 2. Then moving on to the day 2 second game, the Garden State Passers were able to outclass Spanish Maniac Shrimps. Now here you can see that GM Sam Savian was able to win all his 4 games and push his score to 4 out of 4. Also Alexander Botnik was able to score 3 out of 4. Abhimanyu Mishra also did a splendid performance. The youngest ever Grandmaster was able to get to 3 out of 4, and they were able to compensate for Bella Kotanashvili's not so great performance of 1 out of 4. So that was the necessary momentum that they had to gain in the first 2 weeks itself. And now moving on to now day 3. On day 3, the super strong Shanghai Tigers were up against the Blitz. I think this is a French team, Blitz, and GM Wei was in a phenomenal performance, in a phenomenal mode, because Wei hadn't lost a single game up till this point, and in the first round also he was able to get victory for his team. Also he was supported by Zhu Wenjun, who displayed absolute class in this matchup. And also from the Blitz side, GM Maxim Vashir Lagrau tried his best with 2.5 points, but he did not receive much of a support from his other teammates. That's why their team was left to 5.5 points, and Shanghai Tigers were actually able to get a nice victory for themselves. So for the second match of day 3, we have the very strong and 3-time winners St. Louis Archbishops going against Team MGD1. Now Team MGD1 is uh, headed by GM Arjun Erigaisi, who is very strong himself, but St. Louis Archbishop have GM Fabiano Caruana themselves. So this game was very tightly fought because uh, in the matchup Caruana, you can know that Caruana, you can see that he had the highest points with 3.5 out of 4, but the MGD1 just put out a phenomenal team effort where every player, you can see that, has scored at least 50%, and that's what took them home actually, because in the round 4 Harika provided a very clean win over Akopian, and that was actually an upset that cost uh, St. Louis Archbishop, and they were not able to bounce back from that, because in the final round, in the important round, Harika Ronavalli won upon against Varhuzan Hakopian and then was able to swiftly convert that. Also Aditya Mittal provided a great support at the bottom board. He was able to score 2 points, which are very crucial. So moving on to our last day, we have everyone's favorite Gotham Knights going against California Unicorns. Now you can see that Hikaru Nakamura, as always, has a phenomenal performance, 4 out of 4, nothing to take away from him. But he was also supported very well by GM Vladimir Fedosiev, as well as the Olympiad gold winning member of the Olympiad gold winning team, Shamsuddin Wakidov. He also scored 2 points. But this match actually was very closely fought, because until the last round, the Gotham Knights were in a very comfortable position with 7.5 to 4.5. But wins on both 2, 3 and 4 in the last round actually tied the match for California Unicorns. But the speed demon in the Hikaru Nakamura was able to save his team with a win on board 1, ending the day with 4 out of 4. So, and for the last game of this week's Pro Chess League was between Berlin Bears and Croatia Bulldogs. This was also a very closely fought game, because you can see that Croatia Bulldogs were narrowly able to edge out Berlin Bears in a closely fought battle. The Croatia Bulldogs just got an early lead by winning the first round with 2.5 to 1.5, and then winning the second round with 3 to 1. With a nice win by Bardia Daneshwar over Blue Balm, which was actually an upset. But in the round 3, the streak was halted thanks to a victory from Blue Balm. But in the last round, the Bulldogs gained the match by drawing the last match, because they had won the first round, the second round. The third round went to the Berlin Bears, but since the last round was drawn, the Croatia Bulldogs were able to win this match against Berlin Bears. So that was all the update for Pro Chess League. Now moving on to our next news that is there. The St. Louis Chess Club this week announced that they are returning with the American Chess Cup. Now American Chess Cup will be a knockout tournament, double eliminations will be there. It is an 8-player event with most of the players being from, actually all players that are playing are from America. I will make a detailed video on this tournament in the coming weeks, but for now we have to just know that the St. Louis Chess Club has announced the American Chess Cup that will be happening from March 16 to 26 at the World Chess Hall of Fame, which will be an 8-player double elimination. The time control for normal games is going to be 90 minutes at the start of the game plus 30 seconds of increment, and then the elimination bracket is going to be featuring 25 minutes plus 10 seconds of increment. There are going to be 2 classical games that will be played between players. The player pairing is going to be such that the first player is going to be paired against the 8th ranked player, the second seed player is going to be paired against 7th seed, and so on. Total prize fund for this tournament has been set as $300,000, and I will be making a detailed video covering this American Cup, so do look out for that. Next, moving on to our next update, that we have the FIDE resolution on the Russian Federation joining the ACF. Now, the Russian Federation had put forward an appeal that they want to leave from the European Chess Federation and instead join the Asian Chess Federation. So, FIDE actually has accepted their request of joining to the Asian Federation, and now the ball is in Asian Federation's court. If the Asian Federation accepts Russia's request of joining them, then Russia will no longer be part of the European Chess Federation. Rather, they will be part of the Asian zone and will be renamed as 3.8. If you want to read the entire report that what the council has decided, I will put a link in the description. You can check out for itself. What this also means is that now all the transfer fees to FIDE and compensation fees to the Chess Federation of Russia are waived for any player who previously has been registered with the RCF and who from March 1, 2022 until August 31, 2023 has applied or will apply for the membership of any of the ECU's federation. What this basically means is that earlier, if you wanted to change your federation from Russia or from any country to another federation, you had to pay a certain fee to the FIDE as well as to your own federation. But since now Russia is moving to the ACF, the players who will be leaving the Russian Federation because of the war situation that is going on, and if you don't want to represent the Russian Federation, they will be able to do so. They will be able to move to any of the European countries without having to pay a single penny to FIDE as well as the Russian Federation. Now, another important news, that is the Streamers Awards. The announcement of Streamers Awards was done last week. If you don't know what Streamers Awards is, it is an annual award show that celebrates the achievements in the live streaming industry. So basically, it is an award show for the live streamers where best live streamers are awarded, and chess also has a category in this. And for this year's award, these four are the people that have been nominated. We have Andrea Botes and Alexandra Botes, we have GM Hikaru, then we have Anna Kremling, and then we have the Gotham Chess. So do vote for your favorite content creator. The voting goes on until March 4, and the award ceremony will take place on March 11. And these are the nominations that are there for the chess content. Now moving on to our last topic and everyone's favorite topic that has been going on for last couple of months, that is the saga between Magnus-Carlsen and Hans Niemann. So finally the Fair Play Commission has submitted their report on the Carlsen versus Niemann cheating incident, and now the ball is in Ethics and Disciplinary Commission of the FIDE. They have to now make the decision based on the findings of the Fair Play Commission. Till then, they have said that the report will be confidential because they do not want to disclose out any information until a full and final decision has been made by the Ethics Commission. So we will, in a couple of weeks or in a month, we will be able to see a decision being made on the Carlsen and Niemann incident, whether Niemann is penalized for cheating and if he is found guilty of the charges laid by Magnus Carlsen, or Carlsen has to face some disciplinary action for insinuating against Hans Niemann. So as of now, the Fair Play Commission has drafted its own report, and the onus now lies on Ethics Commission to come out with the report. So that was all the update that I had for you guys this week. I hope you were able to get acquainted with all the things that are going on in the chess world past week, and I will come back with some more updates for you in the next week on Monday itself. So do watch out for my videos on Monday. If you want to know all the things that are going on the chess world, the one thing you have to follow is the weekly check-in. And since it's the end of the video, it's time for me to ask for you guys to subscribe as well as like the video, and also make sure to share so that everyone has access to this information, and I will see you in the next episode. Until then, bye bye.